Here we are. We are live on YouTube. Hey, YouTube. So let me share my screen. That's one of the things I really like about YouTube. They let me kind of dual stream with you guys here. So I'm find us on my Black Women in Grants channel, and I'm gonna pull us up. Um, People are responding to a comment I made on another TikTok video earlier. And so let me focus. Let me see. Share live stream. That's pretty cool. That's popping up now. It's like always new features with them. So we got a lot to learn on YouTube, but that's where we're gonna be. Um, there we go. When TikTok goes away, we'll be on YouTube. So come join us. Come join us. Come join us. Hey, Miss Self Love. Hey, the ninth one. Hey, Styles by Luciana. I just saw y'all's comments when I logged on to YouTube, but I know y'all are joining us on TikTok. So we're streaming on 3 platforms. I'm on Facebook. You can find me there under Dr. AJ Austin. Hey, Miss Self Love. Did I say that already? I like all your eyes and your high. I'm on YouTube under blackwomeningrants.com. Just spell the dot part out loud. And then we're also on TikTok, Black Women in Grants. So we are tri streaming. How you say that? I know 2 streams is a dual stream. I don't know what 3 is. And when I find another device, we're going to be quadra streaming on Instagram. Okay. We ain't leaving nobody out this time. So welcome to Black Women in Grants. She said, I'm here and not hiding my phone in my work truck. Okay, Gordon, come through. That's what I'm talking about. I knew one day you would get that pleasure to come interact and chat with us. So, welcome everyone. This is Black Women in Grants. My name is Dr. AJ Austin. I am founder of BlackWomenInGrants.com. We've won over $345,460 in grants over the last few months. Can you believe it? That's almost $500,000, y'all. We'll be there before the end of this year. I just know it. I know it. Speaking it, claiming it, feeling into it, manifesting it, praying about it, all that good stuff. So I personally have won over $1 million in grants and grant funded opportunities in my business. And I'm excited to share what I know with y'all. Y'all ready? Put ready in the chat if you're ready. If you're like, okay, I'm new here, but I know I'm in the right place. Or I've been here before and I'm glad I'm in the right place. Let me know. I took a shower for y'all. I just cut my hair. I got on my pajamas, but your girl is fresh. I gotta change my bedspreads, but your girl is fresh. Okay, so I wanted to come hang out with y'all, talk to you, and let you know some trends I'm picking up on with these grants. So I spent a good hour today. Sal say she ready. I applied for about $3,000 in grants from 2 different opportunities. And every time I apply for grants, I'm always looking for like what's changing, what's evolving, what's switching up, where are we heading, what's the patterns that I'm noticing. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first, tell me who you guys are. Y'all know me. Hey, me. Hi, Monica on Facebook. Hey, YouTube viewer. What's your business? Talk to me in the chat real quick. What do you do? Even if you think I know you and we've been down like 4 flat tires since Facebook first came out, girl, what you do? Because you done changed, I done changed. And if we're just meeting for the first time, let me know what you do. And if you have a multitude, we'll say, a plethora of businesses that you run or that you want to start, tell me about that one business, that one good idea that you want to start, like get up and running. Or if you've already started, what is that business? Like, what do you do in that business? Now, these are the businesses that you want to win a grant for first. Tell me about that. Monica says she's looking to start a business. What kind of business, Monica? On Facebook? Let me know. Gordon says she will run a group home. She is with us live and in living color today. She ain't got to hide her phone and sneak on the live today. So y'all better talk to me and Gordon today because I know she tunes in. So what businesses do you have? Do you want to start? Are you trying to sustain and scale? Talk to me because I'm noticing where grants are headed. This information is vital, y'all. They want like blood almost. So I'm trying to get us prepared for where grants I see are heading for the rest of this year, all the way to probably mid next year. So let's get to talking, okay? Gordon says, I want 7, but I'll start with 1. Yeah, pick that one that's like most important to you. It's near and dear to your heart. Like you could prioritize, talk to us about that one that's like if someone could write you a $10,000 check today, tell me about that business. That one idea that you want to start, you want to grow, etc. Monica says, I would like to start a health and wellness. Tell me more, Monica. What kind of health? What kind of wellness? Because I just realized I'm into skincare. I've been like a clean skin girl, never really wore a whole lot of makeup. However, I'm into like the Korean skincare now and supplements and water and just all kind of organic and natural stuff. I've been like that, but when you get adult money, you can kind of graduate from what you had already. So anyway, y'all better talk to me about these businesses. Let me know, what do you guys do? So the grants that are out now, we're in the for-profit space. Let me just go over some of the basic frequently asked questions. People ask, what are grants? Grants are granted, gifted, given unto you. What that means is it's free money. It's other people's money. OPM, put OPM in the chat if you're picking up what I'm putting down. This is money that's not a loan. It's not based on your credit. You don't need collateral. You don't need a co-signer. You don't need to crowdfund through mom and them trying to get them to support your little business. Okay. This is money that your business qualifies for, you're eligible for, and you're the perfect fit for it. Now, again, we're in the for-profit space, not the nonprofit space. So if you got an idea for a nonprofit business, this isn't the live for you. You're welcome to stay. You're welcome to hang out. However, this is for Black women with for-profit small businesses looking to find, apply for, and win grants. And so because we're not in the nonprofit space, we're not applying for nonprofit grants. We're not applying for government grants. We're not applying for federal funding. None of that impacts us. We're in the for-profit space where our money comes from foundations, organizations, corporations, and associations. We'll say it again slow. Foundations, associations, organizations, corporations. Had to mix it up a little bit, confuse y'all. And so our money comes from the multi-million, billion-dollar companies. So think banks. For example, Regions Bank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, JP Morgan Chase. There are more, but then there are other corporations. Think FedEx, UPS, Office Depot, Office Max, Visa, MasterCard, American Express. I could keep going and going and going. I'm trying to think of the names that have been on my checks and that have sponsored my opportunities to go out and learn how to win more money, and the checks of my clients. And so these are the names that are behind the funding that we receive as Black women with for-profit small businesses. Y'all got it? Got it in the chat if you got it. Because these are the grant funded opportunities that are being sponsored by these corporations, organizations, foundations, and associations. But they're gonna want to know, what do you do? That's the most frequently asked question on these small business grant applications. Now, it's easy to find grants. Let me see who believes that. Whoever believes that, can you put that in the chat? Even if you don't know yet, I'm about to tell you. It's easy to find grants. What that means is yes, girl, there is a grant for your business. It does not matter what type of business you have. The two most unique types of businesses, which is the same industry that I've seen receive grants, funeral homes and graveyards. So if they can win grants, I think you good, Monica, with your health and wellness. Let me see who else told me about their business. Gordon, you good with your group homes and your 7 or 6 other okay. So I'm gonna talk to those who are talking to me, because I don't like to be on here begging for conversation and trying to get y'all to engage. I talk to myself and I'm a hoot and a half. Okay. So I'm trying to share some of that with y'all today. I've done enough for today for me. So it's like, let me go share this joy. So come through. So Sandra says, I need for church. So churches are technically considered nonprofit. So we work with for-profit small businesses. So if you are developing a for-profit arm of your church where you do like workshops, trainings, programming, help in the community, yes, you're in the right place. And so that's what we're all about here on Black Women in Grants. Okay. And so what we're doing, let me make sure I can see y'all's comments. So talk to me in the chat. Let me know about your business. And then let's keep talking about how grants are evolving. So now that you know what grants are, you know where grants come from. It's easy to find a grant, as simple as going to Google right now. I challenge at least one of y'all to do that. If you're serious about winning money for your Black woman for profit small business tonight, I ain't even through our list. We get a list at the top of the month every month of grants with over $1.2 million in funding. Hey, Miyati, welcome back. And so, because we get the list of grants, I get to sit and go through this list and apply for grants and share it with some of our mentees that have joined us over at blackwomenandgrants.com. I just did that today. So, some of y'all got emails from me. Y'all been opening emails. And so you can just go Google grants for small businesses, grants for Black women, grants for whatever your type of business is, grants for whatever your city or state is, grants for your hometown, child. I talked to my mayor of the hometown I grew up in. They got $3 million for the city. And so while it may start on the government level, it eventually trickles down to local small businesses, as well as people who want to come in with like community programming, training workshops, helping the hood, all these kinds of stuff. We can get really creative with what we get funding for, but there is money available for your business. And so all you got to do is go plug that into Google, find an opportunity. Now, here's where you don't want to get stuck and you don't want to try all of this on your own, because grants are evolving. That's why I'm here tonight. This is our message and word of the night. Here's what grants are looking like. So I wrote some stuff down in my journal right before I went to bed last night. Y'all pray that I can read this. You know how like you get an idea, you don't want to go to sleep on it because you don't want to forget it. But then I wake up like, now what now? What was I trying to say? Okay, Monica says mainly women's health. She would like a community health consulting. Love it, Monica. Okay, so let me see if I can read. Ooh, boy. I write like a doctor. Okay. Oh, okay, I know what I was trying to. This ain't what I wanted to talk to you about. Okay, I just remembered I took some notes earlier. So today, just from applying for 2 grants totaling $3,000, right? So let's start with the first one. And I will not share the name of these grants. Go do your own research because that's what I did. But if you want me to share the list with you, come join us in my mentorship. It's on our list, okay? I usually don't get to apply to a lot of the grants on our list because I'm so busy helping our mentees. But go to blackwomenandgrants.com. These are 2 really good grant opportunities, and the applications were decent. Like I just, did both in an hour's time, and I'm a pro at applying. So, and also a pro at winning. So, got to make it fun. So if you haven't told me already, tell me about your business really quickly in the chat. Tell me about your business because it's going to relate back to the questions that grants ask all the time. It's also going to relate to where grants are headed. Let me know, what do you do in your business, or what do you want to do in the business that you want to start and you can see yourself winning a grant for. I'm getting hot, y'all. Excuse me. I don't want to leave nobody out of the conversation, so y'all better hurry up and type if you haven't told me yet. User says non-medical home care. How does that work? Talk to me more about that. What is that? One of the opportunities that came up today was it promoted itself as a $5,000 grant. So this is why I say you don't want to try to go at it alone when it comes to applying for grants, because you can find them. But now it's time for the application, for you to start filling out, writing the essays where they ask you about 26 frequently asked questions. And we dive into what those are in my mentorship, and I teach you how to be prepared, because just like y'all remember personality tests back in the day, I took a lot of those going through school and job training programs. But the personality tests, that they pretty much ask you the same questions, but they may, switch it around. And you're like, I thought they just asked me this. That's kind of how grants do. So there are 26 basic frequently asked questions, but they ask them a different way depending on which grant opportunity you're applying for. Now, again, we're in the for-profit space. What you're usually doing is just filling out information online in an electronic application. They may use Typeform, Jotform. They may have their own systems where they accept applications, etc. And so it's really simple. They're mostly electronic. Some of them you can save your applications, come back later. Some of them you can't. Some of them will send your answers after you hit submit. Some of them don't. So I always tell my mentees to save their answers in a separate Google document. And so you'll see the different types of questions being asked in a different way, but they're the same questions. So you got to be prepared for those frequently asked questions. And so what you also want to do is the opportunities that you're considering applying to, make sure you read the fine print. I preach this a lot on these lives, but you want to read what the grant is looking for. Let me say that again. Read what the grant is looking for, because you have what's known as a grant goal, which is what you could use the grant for. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But a grant also has a goal it's trying to meet. They're looking for a specific type of business. They're looking for a specific type of person to apply for these opportunities. And so they'll have their own reasoning behind the type of people they're looking for. They'll have their own, what we call a theme. So the theme could be, if you work in youth development, if you're trying to start a job training program, if you're trying to help your community in some way, economic empowerment, they always have a theme. The theme is usually community based. We call that social impact. So they're like, what are you doing in your community, either already in your business, or what are you going to add in the future once you win this grant to help your community to give back, etc. That's for another live. If we got time, we might dive into tonight. But what we're really talking about here is making sure that you are reading what the grant is looking to grant a grant for, okay? And so what that means in their fine print, their terms and conditions, their official rules, we call them rules, restrictions, and regulations. You want to read what they're saying you need to have to qualify. But you also want to read in between the lines, because some grants will advertise themselves for one thing, and then you read that terms and condition, that small print that we always say we check that little box and click submit, but we ain't really read it. Take your time and read it. So one of the grants I applied for today advertised itself for $5,000. I was like, okay, let me put this application in real quick for a $5,000 grant. And then after I submitted the application, after I kept reading more, it said, actually, it's 2 grants for $2,500. And I said, okay. So that just lets you know, don't skip over what they're really putting. So it was advertised as a $5,000 grant, but then it said $5,000 total, $5,000 overall. Have y'all ever seen any grants like that? Because a lot of people, when they hear about a grant opportunity, they just click submit. They just click apply. They don't read. And then when something happens, because it inevitably, you know what I'm trying to say, it will happen. They come back and they're like, well, wait a minute. And this just happened with one of our mentees as well. She entered a pitch competition that was for $20,000. I read it. She read it. She went and pitched. And then lo and behold, the prize was only $5,000. And we try to do the math like, well, wait a minute. This ain't adding up. So you got to know what you're getting into to set your own expectations. But again, the grant leaves that up to you because they put it out there. One of the coaches I work with now, she calls it the power of the written word. And so what that means is all a grant is obligated to do is honor what they said they would do. And all this grant said was $20,000 in cash prizes. That didn't mean that was coming to one person. That meant that they could take 10 different people and give a $2,000 grant to. My math is not mathing on tonight. So you got to read the fine print. Y'all got it. Got it in the chat. YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. Y'all got it. That's one thing I'm seeing with grants. You got to read in between the lines to know what you're literally signing up for, so there's no misunderstanding. Gordon says she got it. Anybody else got it? The second thing that I'm noticing is that you really have to be conscious. Monica got it. Thank y'all. You got to be conscious of the types of grants that you're applying to as well. So I know y'all join my lives. I've been on here since 2022, 2023 here on TikTok every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for 2-3 years talking to y'all. It seemed like so long. So we got like 700 plus episodes of these lives, and I'm telling y'all what to do. And so with this comes the second most important thing on a small business grant application, in addition to talking clearly about what you do, and then, of course, knowing what the grant is granting the grant for, but you also want to know clearly what phase of business you're in. So let me ask you guys, because there's only 2 phases. There are no in-betweens. Argue with somebody else, not me, because I ain't got the energy, okay? Phase number 1 is a startup. Startup is where your ideas are still up here in your head. You're still fleshing some stuff out on paper. Is that how you write? I'm right-handed. I'm trying to do this with my left hand. It might be on your Bapuda, as my little niece used to call computers. It may be on a notes app. It may be on a thread of emails. It may be on some loose leaf paper floating around your desk or your home office too, or jammed somewhere in a purse or book bag. Anybody here in the startup phase, put startup in the chat. You're still fleshing it out. You don't really have an idea out there yet. You really haven't launched, so you haven't really made any money. You're still working out your beta testing, your focus group. Anybody in the startup phase, you got your prototypes that you're trying to push out. Even if you have a service-based business and you're testing your services out on other people, giving them away for free or discounted to work it out. Anybody startup? Monica's startup, Gordon's startup. Anybody else? YouTube? Where y'all at? Y'all quiet? Or did I just hide our chat? I don't know. I don't see any chat. So chat, need to chat. Okay, chat. If you're just joining us, welcome. My name is Dr. AJ Austin, founder of BlackWomenInGrants.com, where I help Black women, for-profit small business owners find, apply for, and win grants for their Black woman-owned for-profit small business. And these are some of the very frequent, very common questions on small business grant applications. So we talked about what grants are. We talked about how to find grants. Now we're talking about where grants are evolving, where you got to read the fine print, set your expectations, and know what you're literally signing up for, okay? Any questions? I got one more tip I'm going to share, and then I'll hop off. Hello, Taynika Sant Hendricks. So Taynika Sant Hendricks is here with us, y'all. She is live in New York. She is a swim instructor in New York, and she's the one that just pitched for the $20,000 small business pitch competition. That we was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. The math ain't mathing. Hold on. Where that money at? So we're gonna move on. We don't want to rehash no feelings. We have learned lessons and grown. However, we're reading the fine print. We're screenshotting. We got proof. We got receipts. We know we read it somewhere because we took time to see what we were literally signing up for, right, Tay? So Tay wins small business pitch competitions. She just won. She's won a total of $27,500. Most of that was this year, Tay. I was looking at your roster last night, and everything, it was like only 2 from last year, and everything else is from this year, where she's won small business pitch competitions at about $1,000 a minute. So she pitched for 60 seconds. She won $1,000. She pitched for 5 minutes. She won $5,000. So the math is math on Tay's end. And then she won a $5,000 grant from Lenovo for technology. So her new Bapuda, desktop, laptop, tablet, Fitbit, extra $500, extra $50,000 that she was considered for as a finalist. So funding is out there. Tay is finding it. I teach you how to find it in our mentorship over at BlackWomenInGrants.com, where we got a scholarship to come join me tonight if you would like. There is a spot available. And then I got a bonus for somebody tonight. So hang out with me. I'll tell you more about that. But if you want to go be nosy, claim your spot, get in before everybody else, head over to BlackWomenInGrants.com. Be like Tay. Her pictures are all over the website. Anytime you see a picture, she gonna look different in every picture, but that's Tay, okay? It's all her wins. So sometimes she got her hair pulled back. Sometimes it's down. Just look for the makeup. The face is always beat, and she's always holding a check. Amen? So that's her signature grant-winning brand, okay? Check in hand. And so you'll see Tay and many of our other winners over at BlackWomenInGrants.com who are winning grants. This is real. It's legit. You can do it. However, I advise not to try to do this on your own, especially how grants are evolving. And so another way that I'm seeing grants evolve, let me answer y'all's questions before I dive into that. Monica said, can these grants be used for startups? Yes, you can win a grant as a startup business. So even if you haven't started your business, you can apply for a grant, you can win a grant, but make sure you're applying for startup grants. Y'all got to put startup grant in the chat if you know you're in the startup phase based on what we just talked about, and you need to be applying for startup grants. That's phase 1. And then phase 2 is started. Put started in the chat if you already have a business that you started. Started, and like I said, it's only 2. You're either 1 or 2. You're not in between, okay? A grant is going to say pick one. It's going to be sometimes a drop-down menu. You can pick A or B, 1 or 2. Which one? So Started means that you got the idea out of your head, you got it onto paper, you typed it up, it's in a plan maybe, but you don't need a business plan to apply for a grant. You don't necessarily have to have your articles of incorporation, like your LLC or limited liability corporation, your LLP for limited liability partnership. You don't have to have your INC, etc. Set up necessarily unless it says it in the fine print. So that's why I tell y'all to read those rules, restrictions, regulations, those eligibility requirements. We dive deep into that. That was one of the very first events that I put on for our mentees over at blackwomeningrants.com. Y'all get the replay to that, where it's breaking down a whole fine print workshop of how to read through the legalese in these grants, because they're obligated to give them to you based on the state they were created in. A lot of them are in like Nevada, California, New York. Just depending on where the grant was started, they have certain rules and laws they have to abide by, but they put them in the fine print. And so we have to take our time to read it, because it also walks us through how to win these opportunities. So if you've started a business, your idea is out of your head, it's onto paper, it's into action. What I'm noticing with the startups, they're asking for testimonials from people who have purchased from you. So if you got like written testimonials, like emails, text messages, Google reviews. Me and one of our clients sat and went through her Google reviews a couple days ago just to build up what her clients are saying they got as a result of working with her. She's an attorney. And so you're looking for the theme. What are your clients saying that you could pick up on, making sure that it aligns with what the grant is granting the grant for? That's how you know when a grant is perfect for you to apply to. And so they're asking for your work to speak for itself through receipts. Speaking of receipts, they may ask if you're in a phase where you've already started your business, depending on how long you've been in business, they're going from a year or less. You know, that's kind of on the lower, newer end. They're asking for taxes. Tay knows about that. She got selected for an opportunity. They asked for taxes. She sent them right over. She ended up winning that grant for $5,000 at small business pitch competition. They may ask for your profit and loss statement. Which if you're filing taxes, your accountant should have that, your tax advisor, CPA, bookkeeper, somebody got it. You might do it. But profit and loss statement proving how much you profited, how much you lost, literally in the title, your expenses versus your income. Some grants are also saying you need to make a minimum of ... And that's where people lose it. The people that get mad, like they always want money and why we got to make money and I wouldn't be applying for a grant if I had the money. You literally run a business, right? So business means it's not a hobby. Business means you're not broke. Business means you're not in the negative every month. You can't be in the negative every year. Something got to give to where you're making money in your business, okay? And so they want proof that you have a scalable idea, that it's profitable, and that their money being invested in this idea is going to help your business grow. So if you haven't made a certain amount of money, or if you're in like debt, somebody asked me, can you use a grant to pay your taxes? The answer is no, you can't pay your back taxes. You can't pay your personal bills. They don't want to sink money into a hole. If you're already in the hole, that's what my mom used to call it. We in the hole. If you in the hole, grants are not your get rich quick, easy fix type financial solutions. They're telling you in other words, we're not your sugar daddy. You get to win one time. This ain't every month. This ain't every year. Don't come back here with nothing else but a success story, okay? So they don't want to have sinking funds into your business. You got to prove to them that you got a great idea, it's scalable, it's profitable, and you got proof that it's brought in money if you're in the phase of business where you've already started. Anybody here on the live in a business they've already started, and you can prove that that business made money or is making or has made money, even if you took a break or you pivoted or it's been a couple years, let me know. Just put started in the chat, because those are the two phases. Anybody in the started phase, just put started in the chat, because what that means is, just like with the startup businesses, you want to be applying for startup grants. The started phase people, y'all ain't talking to me, so maybe I'm stepping on some toes. You're welcome, because you want to know this so you don't waste your time applying for the wrong types of grants. But if you're in a business that you've already started that is making money, you want to be applying for what's known as growth grants. Growth grants, like new growth. When your hair grow out a little bit, I got a perm, so y'all can't see my but anyway, ain't had new growth in years. New growth grants. Get you from where you are to where you want to be. You know how that new growth get you to your next appointment, and then she got a little bit more to grab onto next time you sit in that brain chair. New growth. So if you started your business, you need to be applying for growth grants. Does anyone here need a growth grant? Talk to me in the chat. Just put growth in the chat if you need a growth grant. Because what that's going to do is allow me to talk more about the types of businesses that you or the types of grants that you should be applying for. I'm going to tell y'all about my bonus for coming to join us in our mentorship tonight, and then I'm going to hop off. But I did want to jump on here, help a couple of y'all. Everybody ain't ready, and that's okay too. Amen. Let me see. Somebody just joined. Don't even know what the bonus is, so you about to get blessed real good. Let me see who this is. Give you a shout out real quick. Hold up. And welcome to the Grant Game Mentorship, my dear. I don't even see your name yet, girl. So I'm going to tell you about your bonus in a minute. Y'all tell me about which grant do you need? Do you need a startup grant or do you need a growth grant? I need to know because all y'all want to know where to go find a grant. I told you where to go find a grant. Now you're knowing what types of grants to be looking for so you don't waste your time. Coach Janine, welcome, girl. I see you. So, Coach Janine, make sure you click that second link that popped up when. Oh, I was making sure I was still on YouTube. Making sure you click that link that popped up when you joined the Grant Game Mentorship Program. It's the second page that popped up. So click that. Welcome to the Grant Game, and then I'm about to tell you about your bonus in un momento. Okay. Monica needs a startup grant. Gordon needs her startup. I love it because what that's going to do is save you a lot of time. Okay. That way, you're not rushing through all the grant applications you see. You're not doing what we call spraying and praying, where you're just filling out grant applications, hoping something sticks. Eyes, fingers, toes just crossed. Please, Lord, let it work. No, man. If you're in the startup phase, you need to be applying for startup grants. If you're in the started phase, you need to be applying for growth grants. Y'all got it? Put got it in the chat if you got it. Let me know. YouTube, y'all better say something. Y'all ain't saying nothing, and I see you on here. I do got thumbs up, so thank y'all for listening. Okay. Y'all got it. Tay got it. Thank you, Tay. Anybody else got it? Let me know. Let me know. And then we got one more scholarship spot for one of y'all to come grab, just like Coach Jay did on tonight. And then with the joining mentorship program over at blackwomenandgrants.com, I'm giving out bonus calls, y'all. I've been having fun talking to y'all this week. I've been tired. Lord, I've been tired. Social battery just drained, but I've been having fun sitting and listening to you guys. So with your sign up tonight, you got to do it during the live for this to count as your bonus. Coach Janine, you got yours. It's already, that's why I want you to open that second link that popped up. If it didn't pop up, let me know. And I will re-email you real quick before I go. But everything for booking your call, you get a free 90-minute call with me. It's worth way more than $1,000. People are on the live that have paid it, okay? But that's coming as a bonus. So we get to hang out for 90 minutes. You're going to tell me all about your business. You're going to tell me all about the grants that you want to apply to and why and how much you need. And we're going to walk through what's known as your grant application strategy. Because that's the difference between you going out and trying to do this on your own and getting frustrated because you're getting rejected. You haven't won. They're denying you. They're ghosting you, to them saying, hey, you got some options. Number one, you won the grant. Congratulations. Number two, maybe the funds dried up, but we want to help you even more. So give us some alternative ways. Those are the type of responses that my clients get. So we call those consolation prizes. When you implement what's in my mentorship program, when you do your bonus call with me and follow the steps I give you, give yourself 90 days. Less than that. But I say 90 because some of y'all take a little bit of them. We got to pray and lay hands and anoint and baptize, okay? But anyway, give yourself 90 days to win your first grant. Give yourself 90 days to leave here with something. You will leave with something. That's my guarantee, okay? So that's why I give you the call to start off, to get your application strategy together, to know why you're going into these grants, what type of grants you should be applying for, and how to go find these grants and apply. Tay has become brilliant at finding funding that I couldn't have told her where it was. We just got our application strategy together and she went out and found the money. So I'm giving you a list of grants with over $1.2 million in funding on this list. They come out every month, okay? And then you get access to that the whole time you're in the mentorship. It's a year-long mentorship program. You got access to the information in the mentorship. It doesn't take a year to go through the mentorship. It takes 24 hours. That's it. And if you're thinking, oh, 24 hours is a long time. One of our clients, we had a Come to Jesus call this week, and she's like, okay, but you say it's 24 hours. When we want something as Black women, we get it. So if I say set aside 24 hours, an hour a day for the next 24 days, 2 hours a day for the next 2 weeks, you will be done with the program. I got 3 books in there that I've written for you. I love to show them off. Here's one that's teaching about what grants are, what they're not. Here's another. I just wrote that this year. And it's teaching about people like Tay that's on the live with us right now, who have won hundreds of thousands of dollars as a collective. So I collected our success stories in our program and break down how they are winning. And their interviews are in the mentorship as well. And then, hello, Authentic. How are you? This is one as well, the Grant Game. So all of these are there. And y'all, as of today, I just started writing our 4th book. I'll be done before the end of this month. And I'm excited. I was just recording the table of contents right before I got on here because I forgot that was part of the book too. So book number 4 will be a part of the mentorship, and then it's a bonus that I'm throwing in for those of you who join us tonight. So bonus that keep getting better. I'm hosting an event here in Atlanta next April, which is my coaching anniversary. I think we'll be at like 14 years as a coach next April, and it's sponsored by Google. Yeah, so I'm trying to bring y'all where the money resides, because they literally said, Dr. AJ Austin, do you have other people you can send our way? I'm like, yes, let's invite them to the party. So they're literally recruiting people, looking for people to get this shmoney. And so the only people I'm comfortable with referring are people that have gone through my mentorship, because I know you're learning about grants, what they are, what they're not, how to find them, how to apply for them, and you're winning them. So we get this money together. So I'm not the only one winning. We have some of our winners here. I have interviewed all of our recent winners, including Peaches, who is in Detroit. She has a barbecue restaurant. Just won a $9,500 grant to get her a new freezer refrigerator combo. No more residential refrigerator for her. She said she bought her some briskets and some ribs with that new refrigerator and some pantry items with that grant. And so that created some cushion for her, because she eventually had to take some time away from the business, and the grant had helped sustain her. She didn't have to close her business doors. So women are winning. They're winning for the first time as well with startups. Brittany's a great example of that. She's up in Virginia. She has a commercial kitchen co-work space. And 90 days, remember I told you I'll give you 90 days inside the mentorship, working with me after your call, doing the work. Give yourself 90 days for your first win. So 90 days to the day, Brittany won $15,000 in her very first small business pitch competition. She was like, what? She couldn't believe it. Can anybody use the extra 15K? Y'all talk to me. Authentic Gordon is here tonight. She ain't hiding her phone, girl. She learning. Leave her alone. Don't be distracting her. You been doing your homework? Let me know. Can anybody use the extra 15K? Y'all better talk. We about to wrap up. So we talked about the 2 stages of business. We talked about the 2 types of grants you should be applying for. We talked about where to find these grants. And we talked about, based on the stages, what types of grants you should be applying to. Real quick in the chat, tell me, how much in grants can you see yourself winning? Just put your amount there. Put your dollar signs, put your commas, put your decimals, put all your zeros. How much in grants do you need, do you want to win? And keep in mind, you got to go do the work to apply for this. You got to know how to win by getting help winning, and I got you. But y'all talk to me and let me know how much you need. Monica says she can use the extra 15K. I see you, girl. Ray says 25K. Said I don't know much about grants. Ray, think of it like T.I. says, you can have whatever you like. And then put that number in the chat. How much you want, boo? Gordon says 30K. Monica, what you got on Facebook? YouTube, what y'all got? Are y'all talking to me and I'm just missing it? But I don't see any chats. I see my chat in YouTube. I am sharing our screen. Okay, Authentic says she's doing homework. Okay. Coach Janine says, I didn't receive the second email. Maybe it will come later on. I will resend it after I'm no longer live. I'm actually sharing my screen on YouTube right now, so I don't want them to get your information. And so I'll resend it after the live when I'm no longer on YouTube, okay? So just be patient. And you can also just reply back to your email with where your receipt came from, and that'll send me a reminder to send it to you right after the live, okay? Monica says 20,000. Wow. Ray Travel says, okay, then 300. There you go. Taze is the same way. I know her goal is 300K as well. Coach Janine says 50K. Okay. Anybody else want to just put it out there into the atmosphere? Call those things that are not as though they were. I mean, just somebody might be listening. Somebody could be on the live with your check, but y'all don't want to hear me. You just want to dance. Use to say 150K. Okay. So all of this is possible. And I'm going to tell you what I told one of my clients this week. It doesn't necessarily have to come all at once. Like I know everybody would love a $150,000 check, a $300,000 check, a $50,000 check. It may take you, Coach Janine, applying for 10 grants and winning all 10 for 5K. Are y'all okay with that? Are you okay with doing the work as long as you know that every time you apply for a grant, your applications are getting better and better and better? Talk to me. You said 50K for now. It will increase. There you go. That's a great starting point, especially because you've invested in learning how to apply for grants and getting better every time. I even know how to make sure that your answers are speaking genuinely to your heart and to your goal, right? And you're really selling the grant on why they should pick you over someone else who's also applying for these funds that may also do what you do. Gordon says she's willing to work. Gordon, did you join us in the mentorship yet? I can't remember. I don't want to assume, but I want to invite you to if you haven't. And I got a question for you if you have. So let me know either way. Real quick, let me put this out here. Let me think. Did I share with y'all everything? Oh, I wanted to say this because another thing that I'm noticing with the evolution of grants, by the way, if you want to go join the mentorship, grab your scholarship to join us for the scholarship price tonight and get your bonuses during the live. The bonuses are not there, but yes, you can join the mentorship after the live. You just won't get the bonuses, okay? So the book, the call with me, or the event tickets to come hang out with me in Atlanta, it ain't gonna be on the website, guys. But you can come join us during the live. I throw that in there. There is Klarna, there's Afterpay, and there's Affirm if you need it. Let me say it again. Klarna, Afterpay, and Affirm if you need a payment arrangement. It's there, okay? It's $197 to join us for a full year in our independent study course called the Grant Game Mentorship. There's also an option if you just want to buy all three of the books I just showed you, Finding Funding, How to Find, Apply for, and Win Grants, Black Women in Grants that I just wrote this year about our success stories, and then the Grant Game Mentorship. Y'all won't be this big and heavy, about to take you out. But all of those options are there as a bundle as well. So yeah, I've been begging for just the books. I put them on there, so go get them, okay? So those options again are over at blackwomeningrants.com. Here's what I noticed with the two grants that I applied for today as well. So the word quote unquote black is going away in a lot of these grant opportunities. During COVID and the pandemic and the quarantine, all the keywords TikTok probably getting strikes for, we had money raining out the sky. Like I was getting emails and phone calls to help find Black women to win this money. Now that we're 5 years removed, half a decade, the money is still there. However, y'all know the whole DEI thing that has gone away. We still Black, but the money is changing. It's changing hands, if you will. And so now you have to learn how to, what does it say? It's popular. You can try to add a sticker to your live and rally your views. I don't know what that means. TikTok, leave me alone. Anyway, I'm getting pop-up messages. I ain't never seen it. What you are going to notice is that the money is changing hands, and these opportunities are no longer just saying Black, okay? They're not just saying for Black women. They're just saying women, right? And so that brings in other races, nationalities. Also, I saw non-binary on an application today, and it didn't click. Like, while I hear the term, I know what it means, it did not click, because about a year and a half ago, there was like this little scandal, little drama, little tea in the grant world, that men had been applying for women funding and winning. And so we were like, well, what was the loophole? And it did not click until just today that we now have that category where you can choose non-binary. We also have like trans. And so those are going to come into play when it comes to competing for grants for women. So what that means for you, if that's your lane, put that on your application, girl. If that's not your lane, you still got like LGBTQIA, you still got veterans, you got disabled, you got seniors, you got students, you got immigrants. All of these are keywords to put on small business grant applications to kind of get the upper hand, to get like further along, and you can use that to your advantage as leverage. But also know that every single one of those categories are also competing for the funding that is now for all women. Okay. So what that means is you need a sharper strategy for how to go win. And so that's when it becomes not just about who you are, but what you do. So when y'all ask me, can I win a grant? Or do you know of grants for this type of business, that type of business? I do. Any type of business can win a grant. You just have to have an angle. And so now we're working with you on our grant application strategy calls. You know, that free bonus call you get when you join me in the mentorship tonight during this live over at blackwomenandgrants.com. We talk about your angle. Here's the angle that you take when people with the same qualifications, the same type of business, the same background, well, they don't have certain things. Let me help you point out your angle. And you need an angle. You got to be strategic to start winning this money, because it's becoming more competitive. It's not that you can't win. You can, but you got to give it more thought than let me just submit a random application, spray and pray, try it on my own, and hope something sticks. That is no longer going to work. Y'all got it? Got it in the chat if you got it, because that's something that I noticed today, that there's a loophole. And sometimes loopholes are good. There's also a loophole with the money that Peaches just won, the barbecue restaurant in Detroit. Remember I said there's money in your hood, in your city, in your state, in your hometown. Millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars came to her hometown. She said, well, I don't qualify for the bigger grants. Let me call on my local city level. So she called the city, asked them for some of the money, just scrape me off 1%. And they did. And that's how she got her money. She found a loophole. So loopholes aren't bad. Use it as leverage, but you also got to tie it in with the theme of the grant. So the way Peaches won is to her advantage. There are other restaurants in her city. However, she joined the mission of the grant. Remember I said all grants have themes. So the theme of this grant was like to get Detroit back up and running and revive the neighborhood. She put that in her small business grant application. It was like, you're the one we want to choose versus just any random restaurant. So y'all see, if it's a grant to revive the city, talk about how you want to help revive the city with what you do. So you got to meet the languaging of the grant. We call that alignment. And that's what I'm going to talk about in my upcoming book. So y'all get ready. But we already talk about it in the Grant Game book that's over at blackwomenandgrants.com in the mentorship. And I teach you what aligning your application with the reason the grant is giving away the funding. I teach you what that looks like. But then you want to dive into that bonus call with me, because we're going to pull it out of your business specifically, so that if someone with the same business, the same education, same background is going toe-to-toe with you in this grant, they're more likely to choose you because of these angles that I help you pull out. Y'all got it? What questions can I answer for you? Talk to me in the chat. Any questions based on what we've talked about tonight? Coach Janine, I see your email. Thank you so much. I got you right after the live. I'm so scared of clicking on any other screen other than YouTube, because Cheyenne no more. But let me know what questions you guys have based on what we talked about. We talked about what grants are, where to find grants. Yes, there is a business or a grant for your business. Yes, there is a business for your grant. Maybe. Y'all told me. Oh, Monica said, what's the link? blackwomenandgrants.com, Monica. Hold on, let me see if Facebook will let me type www.blackwomenandgrants.com. www.blackwomenandgrants.com. Did that do that? Okay, there we go. Girl, Facebook. Okay, there we go, Monica. That's for you, babes. Go grab that second spot that is open while I'm live, so you can get the bonuses. I can't wait to fill y'all in on the details of this Atlanta event in April. We will be maxed out. I already know it. I think I got our location. I haven't even seen it yet, but it's brand new. It's close to me. I can walk there, and I'm excited. Y'all can fly right in to the Atlanta airport and come join us if you ain't here, or just drive down the street. Y'all know in Georgia we think everything down the street. Come down the street and come hang out with us in April. I'm so excited. So we have officially kicked off starting the planning of this event, and those of you who join me during tonight's live will get free tickets. There will be a hybrid where I'm going to try to put in a live stream option, but again, I'm working with the details of how this will be laid out. So you'll get your ticket. You'll have my new book that'll be out before the end of this month. That's my promise to myself. And then you'll have your free call with me, 90 minutes, over $1,000 value, as well as the events that I've already hosted. You get the replays. They're already in the mentorship, ready to go. You get our list of grants with over $1.2 million in funding on this list every single month. I just applied to 2 grants from our list this month. You get that link every month for the full year that you're in the mentorship. It's one-time payment, year-long access, okay? There's a monthly option if you want to come join us monthly. I'm live twice a month on Zoom with a small group of women going through the mentorship. Both of those bundle option. Trying to do 3. All of those are over at blackwomeningrants.com. www.blackwomeningrants.com. There's one other spot to get those bonuses tonight. And what else? I'm sending out y'all's emails as soon as we're no longer live. There are interviews with our grant winners like Tay, who's on here tonight. That's won over $27,500 so far. Tay is on a winning streak, okay? Who else? Ashley Rankin. She has an organic skincare line. She's won over $42,000 in grants and grant-funded opportunities. Grants are like, they call them cash prizes, so like money sent directly to your mailbox, wherever that is, your P.O. box, your virtual mailing address, your home, your mama house. They can send you a check there. They can also deposit it into your business bank accounts. They can send it to your PayPals. They can ask you to submit an invoice and pay it that way. And it's linked to what's called an ACH deposit. I used to work at the bank for Bank of America and Regions Bank, girl. So I was literally in the vault in Bank of America counting the millions, y'all. Just fascinated with all this paper, and they just trusted me. It was like, child, Jesus, we know you're gonna take it. I ain't never been in trouble like that. So anyway, I was in there. So my background is in finances. I also work for the largest credit card company in the world. I miss them. Checks and benefits. But anyway, banking, finances, money is my background. So the ACH deposits are direct deposited into your business bank account. And then you have what's known as grant funded opportunities, or GFOs. These are like when the big organizations, like I just finished a program with Goldman Sachs. And so they have a budget of $10 billion to help 1 million Black women in business. And so they'll take some of that money. We got like a $25,000 opportunity, right? Coach Janice says we're in good hands. Thank you, Lord. Won't he do it? God is so good, girl. And so that's my background. Even my first job at 14 years old, I was working the cash register at McDonald's. So pretty much all my jobs have been dealing with money some type of way. We ain't got a time to go through my roster, but I've had about 30 jobs, and majority of them dealing with money. So yes, I'm familiar with the industry. And so the cutest thing I've seen with grants and grant checks, my last 2 grant checks, I had them mailed to my home. I walked right out my driveway, checked my mailbox. They were the size of a postcard. Y'all know, like, postcards are like a little bit bigger than credit cards these days. It was so tiny, it almost got locked up in my junk mail. You know how you ball your junk mail up and just toss it? I'm nosy, so I looked through my junk mail because sometimes Dunkin' Donuts be sending coupons for $2 coffees. I want my $2 latte. So I was looking through the coupons. I was like, this is a check. I ain't no girl, this ain't no cash this check. And both times I took it to my bank and they cashed it, no problem. That's something that I had not seen. I've been out of the banking industry for years, but I didn't know checks came that small, but they still spend, okay? So they deposited the money into my bank account. And so they can also do the ACH deposit or the electronic fund transferal. Tay just won an opportunity where they're like, you got to submit an invoice. So the funds can show up any way you would like, but they can also show up in these grant funded opportunities where these banks and financial institutions have put money behind scholarships, tuition. They even fund some of our sponsorships. That's why we have the sponsorship opportunity tonight to join me over at blackwomeningrants.com at the low price that it is, low investment right now, because grants got you on the back end. My regular investment starts at $997. Y'all are getting into my program tonight for $197 because I win grants. So they cover you on the back end. So we're good. They just want you to have a little bit of skin in the game, get you started, get you winning. And then what I love about our Black women in grants, they always pay it forward. They always say, hey, I came back, I won. I see this is working, I won. I want to sponsor somebody to go through the mentorship. And so we have a waiting list of people that's trying to get in like that as well. So those opportunities are available. That's what this is all about. And the website again is blackwomeningrants.com. Hallelujah. Coach Janine said, do you also help clients with sponsorships? Tay's on here. She just got a $3,000 sponsorship. She partnered with a local pool that gave her pool space, which is her dream, which is to own her own pool. So yeah, she's one of our private coaching clients, one of our mentees. Did Ashley do a partnership? Not yet. Ashley just won a $10,000. Well, not just, but she has won over the last year a $10,000 scholarship or $10,000 grant from L'Oreal Cosmetics for her organic skincare line. And then she just got selected for, I partner you guys with other programs as well, by the way. That's a bonus for joining the mentorship. There are 3 or 4 other programs that I tell you to go apply to. Tell them you're a Black woman in grants. Say this on the application. Let them know you know me, or if you need a letter of recommendation from me, let me know. But you can click and go join for free right now, as long as their applications are open. So also, when I'm looking through grants and I see one that I know matches your business, I just email you. So Tay got an email today. Tay, did you get your email? Did you open your email? Let's start there because I know how you be. Did you see that email from me, Tay? I tagged Tay and about 15 other people to go apply for these opportunities that are currently available for these grants. And so when I'm thinking of you and what type of business you have and these grant funded opportunities, you go ahead and just apply. And so yes, partnerships could be in there. So there are 8 different types of, you got grants, you got scholarships, you got sponsorships, you got partnerships, you got bursaries, you got contests, giveaways. What am I leaving out? It's 8 of them. Grants, sponsorships, scholarships, bursaries, partnerships. It's 8. Just trust me, it's 8. We talk about all of them in the mentorship. Don't rely on my memory, child. So again, that's over at blackwomeningrants.com. So go claim that prize. Tay says, yes, I saw the email. I'm looking at it now. Okay, she's your, Tay don't be open her email. You better go apply for that money. Okay, so we say yes. Yep, we were talking about the pitch competition you just did with one of the programs. I saw another question from earlier. Did I miss it? Any other questions before I go? Y'all let me know. YouTube, I'm about to log off so that I can help those who have joined us in the mentorship. Y'all come on over and join us. Thank y'all for hanging out, and we'll see y'all soon. YouTube, we're letting y'all go right now. Bye, y'all. Okay, now that my